This video is a disaster. I should just restart. All right, if you hear noise in the background, that's my girl. She's on call with me, but my lazy ass was not going to put every last change I made in this mod into a description. I'm going to scroll through all the changes I've made. And sorry. You can stop the video if you want and see all the things I've changed. This is, I'll put it in the description, but this is a kind of a low weight or kind of light overhaul of the base game's magic in general. I changed spells and perks. It's a small rework, keeping things still pretty vanilla. I kind of like the vibe of vanilla Skyrim. It's pretty nostalgic and what?
I miss you.
I miss you too. All right, I love you too. She insisted. She insisted on being on the call. Yeah, so I wanted to keep things pretty vanilla. It reminds me of when I first played it in 2011. But if you remember, I mean, even still to this day, base game magic is pretty abysmal. You kind of have to have mods. But I wanted to make the base game spell still usable. You know, I really liked Wall of Flames, for example, but it sucks. And so I buffed its damage and kept the spell cost the same to try and make it actually usable. It's an expert level spell, but it's pretty much useless. I wanted it to actually be viable. Some other things like Stone Flesh. Basically, I changed the perk that buffs, flesh spells to where they're actually, and you can read it in the perk whenever you're picking it. Some of these things I won't go over because you can see it in the perk trees or you can play with it yourself. But I did buff the individual spells as well, raising their protection by about 20 for each one. I think it's consistently, I raised it by 20. So Iron Flesh, instead of protecting by 60, it does by 80, it does by 100. Ebony Flesh, instead of 100, it does 120. Buffing the damage on, pretty much every spell, on like every destruction spell by twice the amount.
Kiss me.
And I also added, not only did I change perk values, but I also added perks.
And
Well, actually,
y'all can't have him.
I think they get it. I think they got it. So I added Bound Chaos. So that's the thing that I really had a gripe with most in vanilla. I mean, I had a lot of things, but bound weapons kind of sucked, and so I wanted to not just buff their damage, because buffing their damage is kind of boring. I wanted to buff their versatility as well. I wanted to make it to where, like Soul Stealer and Oblivion Binding are great in concept, but I mean, what are you going to be killing and capturing their soul of? If you want to turn an undead or banish a Daedra, I mean, it's easier to just kill them, right? You're not going to really be using a bound weapon because they're pretty weak in general. And by the time you unlock these perks, you're not going to be using bound weapons anymore. I do believe that I don't think I changed the level requirement on these. I don't think. I might have. I'll show it to you in case y'all want to look it up yourselves, but I don't think I did. For this one, it requires level 90, and it, right in the description it says bound with all 3 elements. I did want to show that to y'all. We'll spoil that about the mod, is that I did add that perk. That way y'all know it's there. And another thing about bound weapons, when you pick that perk, it'll summon a chaos variant of the bound weapons. In the base game, there's a regular bound bow, for example, and a mystic version where it does more damage. The chaos version is what I added, and it doesn't look like a bound weapon. It looks like a Daedra weapon because for some reason, when you change this file right here, for either the sword or the bow, the enchantment, it makes the bound weapons invisible. So if you change the ID, if you change the effects inside here in any way from vanilla, they go
If
invisible.
there's a pro listening to him, get off.
Unless you're thinking about downloading my mod and endorsing it, then please endorse it. Please endorse it. Give me a thumbs up. Um,
You're a girl. He's mine.
you should still download my mod and endorse it, though. You should still download it and endorse it.
Kiss me, I'm your wife.
Mm. I'm gonna cut that out of the video.
No, you are not.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Yeah. So for some reason, when you change that, it turns invisible. For all the weapons, it does not matter. I don't know why. So when I created the chaos variants of these weapons, they will be using that enchantment that I made, the chaos variant. And yes, they'll look like a Daedric weapon. But upside is that they will look, they'll have the enchantment displayed on them. And if you have any enchantment mods that display the enchantment in a flashy, cool way, I think it'll work with that. I'm pretty sure it will. So there, you got that to look forward to. And I guess there's like a that you could, make up lore that for some reason, or whenever you reach a certain power level with bound weapons, they start to manifest into reality. Who knows? I don't know. You can create up whatever definition you want, but be prepared for that. So they still summon in like bound weapons. They just don't look like it. The bound bow, the animation looks really nice, but whenever, for some reason the bound battle axe and sword, they spawn in reversed. And because there is no like distortion from the bound weapon effects, it's pretty obvious to tell that it does. And it looks pretty stiff is the way I'd describe it. But yeah, these are all the perks I edited. You can look into what these are when you play the game. And please do. Oh, these which are not, you're not really going to be able to tell unless you have a mod that displays levels. I boosted the levels of all of these, except for the Flame Atronach. For some reason, you cannot change the stats of the base game Flame Atronach. I tried. It's locked. And the reason why it says that I edited this thing is because I tried to. And, yeah. So it's still level 5. Love you too. But so yeah, so these thralls are the frost one's 72, the flame one I think is level 60 something, I think, and then the storm 75, the Dremor Lord 75. I still wanted to keep the scheme of that the flame was the weakest and it worked its way up to electrical. Yeah, 60 for the flame. I wanted to reward players for actually like getting the thrall variants. These things capped out like level 40. It was sad. The flame one, the flame thrall, which is a master level, spell, someone's a level 30 flame atronach. Are you kidding me? I mean, you're level like what, 60 at this point? No, like that's just unacceptable. So I wanted to buff these up to make these genuinely really strong. Same with the Dremor Lord. He's my favorite, so of course I gotta buff him up to 75. Twin Souls, you can check that out. Spoiler, it does more than 2. Vampiric Drain, something my friend said, shout out to my boy Sam. He did point out that the drain life effect is terrible, and I agreed, so I buffed the final stage up to 15. I think I left stage 0 at what it was. Wall of Flames, expert level spurt perk, and I wanted to buff that. And yes, sweetie?
Where's my shout out?
You got a shout out at the start of this video, and you've been getting shout outs the entire time.
I love you.
I love you too, alright? Recovery, buff that perk. Reanimate, raise zombie and stuff like that. Buff the levels on these. I just thought, like, this one was like level 6. And what enemy are you going to be raising at level 6? By the time you get this perk, you'll be like level 10. So I thought it was dumb, so I buffed it up a bit. Mystic Binding. Oh, I think I changed the level requirement for this. Maybe I think maybe I raised it or I lowered it. It might have been 25. I don't know. Maybe I should lower it back again. I don't know. That's why I'm releasing this mod, so that way y'all can play around and test it and tell me what y'all think of it. Yeah. Oh, small side note before I end this part of the video. I wanted to basically with this is just reward players for specialization. You know, if you wanted to play a pyromancer, now you got the option beyond just 2 perks. 2 freaking perks in the entire game that can buff flame damage, and that's all you get as a pyromancer. 2 perks, and they cap out at level 60. Yeah, no, I didn't want that, and I wanted to make that better for players, so that way they can actually specialize if they want to. Oh yeah, and bound weapons for battle mages. I really liked the aspect of bound weapons, so yeah, that kind of general consent, that's pretty much it. If you got any other questions, I mean, you can ask me in the posts. And I'll tell y'all specifically, like, hey, I don't know what this changes. Tell me what it changes, and I'll let you know. For example, this one, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Important note, yeah, I'm not sure if this will work. It says in the base game it was 100 points, but now I changed it to 400. If you go to the bonus that is tied to this, it's the see right here, Dark Souls Raise Zombie bonus. It's got 1 use. So yeah, I changed the value to 400. It's got 1 use, and it's being used by that perk, Dark Souls. Although there are very similar variants to this, called perk Dark Souls Revenant bonus, and it's set to like 75. But it has no uses anywhere in the base game. And this is base game. And it's called, you know, Revenant or Reanimate Corpse. And the bonuses aren't even 100. And they aren't getting used anywhere. So I don't know if this is going to affect everything or just the spell Raise Zombie. But we'll see. So yeah, that's general overview of what the mod does. Alright, so I went ahead and I've gone in on just like a new scrap character, and I've given him some perk points and some magicka to kind of demonstrate this mod a bit. Loaded in here, you can see some of the changes. They're working just fine. You can see the value changes there. See some over here. Some are not too clear. Like, I mean, this one it says for 1/3, still keeping that same terrible grammar scheme from vanilla, but some things are not clear. For example, illusion and stuff like that. It says they work on higher level people, doesn't specify, but I did buff all of these. Some of them I buffed quite a bit. This one I think I buffed by like almost 15 to 20 levels, something like that. And this one I think was 15 levels for all the rage, like for the pacify and courage perks, stuff like that. Same thing over here with restoration. You can see some of the changes right off the bat, like in the values and certain things, but some things are not completely obvious. And you can play around with these however much you want. And the thing I wanted to mainly hit on was, of course, the bound weapons, to just kind of demonstrate what I mean by these weapons they look different. Let's, where is the balance board? There we go. So the normal balance board looks like this, and I wanted to keep this design, but for the life of me, no matter what I did, changing the enchantment tied to bound weapons would turn it invisible. Even for the mystic variant, since it uses the same enchantment, I don't know why the mystic one can. I don't know what's the deal, but yep, still a bound weapon that looks normal. Of course, that's the mystic variant, and then if you go all the way up into the perk tree, and choose bound chaos. This perk to the left of it is another mod that is just finished. I'll post it soon. See, there it is. This is what I mean. It looks like a regular old Daedric sword. Yeah, there's just no way around it. Plus side, though, is that, yes, the enchantment, it is enchanted. Can't show it to you in my inventory because it's a bound weapon, but I can demonstrate its effectiveness. So these chaos bound weapons, of course, they boast a higher base damage, higher than that of like a regular Daedric sword, battle axe, bow, and dagger. But they also have the 25 points of damage for both fire, frost, and shock. And I'm just gonna show the effectiveness. It should be in like, yeah, 3 hits. 3 hits to finish him off. I don't know. I mean, comparing that, you can compare it to the previous ones. I mean, you can. Let's see here. Let's see if we can legendary it. And that way, it's returning back to its original bound weapon here. And I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I can do a full, detailed, in-depth video on all the things I've changed, but I'm pretty sure I also improved the length at which the Chaos bound weapon is summoned for. I think it's twice the amount of a normal one, but yeah, you can see how well this is. Yeah, see, look at this. Complete damage sponge, just nothing but a giant. This is just not as effective, not nearly. And you can, it's just terrible in my opinion. So this was pretty much, this is still vanilla value for damage, and this is what you're dealing with. This is the kind of damage you'd be dealing in vanilla, and it's just completely and utterly not acceptable in my opinion. Because I don't even think I'm playing on a hard difficulty. Yeah, I'm playing on Apprentice, so for a bound weapon to be doing that low of damage, I mean, 7 damage per hit is, I don't know, it's not worth it for me. This is a novice level spell, sure, but even if you were to get something like the bound battle axe, it's not going to really do much more. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I wanted to display when it comes to this mod. The rest of it you can look into yourself and play with, and please do. If you have any kind of troubles, any kind of mods, or any kind of bugs that come up when playing, please let me know. If you have any questions about what has been changed, let me know in the comments, and I'll respond specifically to what you're asking about. Yeah, in the post section, make sure to ask your questions, and I'll probably do another video. It's just a complete in-depth tutorial, like everything I changed in the creation kit. So, but yeah, that's the magic project for you. So I thought it'd be easier if instead of like putting every last thing I made a change to into a giant, huge, long description that probably no one will even look at or read all the way through. Like I said, I knew you couldn't be quiet. I knew you couldn't. I knew.
I can be quiet. I chose not to be.
Why can't you choose to be quiet?
Well, I would have chosen to be quiet if you hadn't said, well, no, because you're going to say this, and then you're going to do this. So, I have to do that.
All I did was ask if you could be quiet. I even said please. And you're like, I can be quiet. And I'm like, are you sure?
I can't be quiet. I chose not to be.
To be an ass. To be an ass.
I'll choose to be quiet. No, because I want the world to know that I'm
Okay, alright. Jesus.
Maybe start the video off with my wife said tutorial that I'm taking, so...
No, we're just gonna leave it in the video. So, I'm just gonna briefly go over what this mod does, and I'm just gonna reference all of the changes as I mention them. Okay, I'm gonna cut that out of the video because you're sabotaging my tutorial video. Come on.
I'm not. I'm just making sure that
The viewers want me to get on with it. The viewers want me to get on with it. All right. They are impatient. Okay, there's a reason why I did the video instead of doing a giant long. Never mind. In general, this mod started out as an overhaul, or a slight kind of like a, I don't even know what you said.
I'll be good.
I don't even know what you said.
I said there's my handsome man. Keyword mine.
Okay, alright. The performance of Magic in the base game, I always, from the game that released in 2011, it was pretty lackluster. Flames was abysmal. Like, Dude,
Can I see you? Wait,
dude, are you kidding me?
can I see you?
You just said you're gonna be. You can see me. You can see my chest.
No, but can they see?
No.
Okay, carry on.
You think I would be shirtless recording a video?
That's why I'm asking.
Dude, okay. You.
Okay, I'll be good for real now.
Okay, so. Like I was saying, I should just restart the entire video. Hey guys, this is a video of my mod because no, I'm not gonna restart the video. I'm just gonna continue where I was going off of.